Hey everybody, we're going to go ahead and do Genesis 31, conflict between Jacob and Laban. So if you've got your Bibles, get them out and let's do one today. So here we go. All right, so chapter 31, verses 1 through 13. Jacob heard the words of Laban's son, saying, Jacob has taken all that was our father's, and from our father's property he acquired all this wealth. So Jacob saw that Laban's countenance was unfavorable toward him, as it had been good before. Then the Lord told Jacob, Return to your father's land and to your family, and I'll be with you. So Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field where the flocks were, and said to them, I see your father's countenance, that it isn't favorable toward me anymore. But the God of my father has been with me. Now you know that with all my might I served your father, yet your father deceived me and changed my wages 10 times with respect to the male lambs, but God didn't allow him to harm me. If he said thus, the speckled shall be your wages, then all the flocks bore speckled. But if he said thus, the white shall be your wages, then all the sheep bore white. So God's taken away all your father's cattle and given them to me. Now it came to pass when the flocks conceived, I lifted my eyes and saw in a dream, and behold, the male goats and the rams that were speckled, spotted, and ash covered speckled were mating with the sheep and the goats. Then the angel of God spoke to me in a dream, saying, Jacob, and I said, Here I am. So God said, Lift your eyes now and see, all the male goats and the rams mating with the sheep and the goats are speckled, spotted, and ash colored speckled. For I've seen everything Laban is doing to you. I'm the God who appeared to you at Bethel, where you anointed the pillar and made a vow to me. Now then, arise, leave this land, and return to the land of your nativity, and I will be with you. So, Jacob, quite simply, he claims he's gotten all the super from God, right? Um, that's really all there is to that one. Uh, so here we go with chapter 31, verses 14 through 21. Then Rachel and Leah answered and said to Jacob, Is there still any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house? Are we not considered strangers by him? For he sold us, and then he also consumed our money. For all the riches and glory God has taken away from our father are really ours and our children's. Now then, whatever God has said to you, do it. So Jacob rose and set his sons and his wives on camels, and he carried away all his livestock and all his possessions acquired in Mesopotamia, everything belonging to him, to go to his father Isaac in Canaan. Now Laban had gone to shear his sheep, and Rachel stole her father's idols. But Jacob had hidden from Laban the Syrian his intention of running away, so he fled with all he had and crossed the river, heading for the mountains of Gilead. So Rachel and Leah both are asking if their dad has any wealth left, and they also agree, saying that yes, they know Laban's trickery with him was getting him to marry both of them, and he's treated all of them and it's been pretty wrong. So as far as they're concerned, they tell Jacob, take it all. So Laban is now getting conned by Jacob because earlier he was the one conning Jacob, but now Laban is getting conned by Jacob a little bit here. So now verse 22 through 41. Laban was told on the third day Jacob had fled, so he took all his brethren with him, and pursued him for 7 day journeys worth, and he overtook him in the mountains of Gilead. But God came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night and said to him, Be careful that you don't speak evil things to Jacob at any time. Laban overtook Jacob. Jacob had pitched his tent in the mountains, and Laban with his brethren pitched in the mountains of Gilead. Then Laban said to Jacob, What have you done that you've stolen away unknown to me and robbed me, and carried away my daughters like captives taken with the sword? Why did you flee away secretly and steal away from me, and not tell me? For I might have sent you away with joy and songs, with timbrel and harp. And you didn't allow me to kiss my sons and my daughters. Now you've done foolishly in so doing. It isn't my power to do you harm, but the God of your father spoke to me last night, saying, Be careful that you don't speak evil things to Jacob at any time. Now you've surely gone because you greatly long for your father's house, but why did you steal my gods? So Jacob answered and said to Laban, Because I was afraid, for I said, Perhaps you take your daughters and all my possessions from me by force. With whomever you find your gods, let them not live in the presence of our brethren. Identify what I have of yours and take it with you. For Jacob did not know Rachel had stolen them. So Laban went in and searched Leah's tent and found nothing. Then he searched Jacob's tent, found nothing. Then he entered Rachel's tent. Rachel had taken the idols, put them in the camel's saddle, and sat on them. Then she said to her father, Let it not displease my lord that I can't rise before you, for the manner of woman is with me. So he searched the entire tent, but did not find the idols. Then Jacob was angry and rebuked Laban, and Jacob answered and said to Laban, What is my injustice? What is my sin that you so hotly pursued me? Although you searched all my things, what part of your household goods have you found? Set them before my brethren and your brethren, so they may judge between us. These 20 years I've been with you. Your sheep, your female goats haven't miscarried their young, and I've not eaten the ram of your flock. That which was caught by wild animals I didn't bring to you. I bore the loss of any stolen by day or by night. There I was, and the day the drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep departed from my eyes. Thus I've been in your house 20 years. I've served you 14 years for your 2 daughters, and 6 years for your flock, and you've changed my wages 10 times with respect to the female lambs. Unless the God of my father Abraham and the fear of Isaac had been with me, surely now you'd have sent me away empty handed. But God saw my affliction and the labor of my hands and rebuked you last night. So, unknown to Jacob, Rachel has stolen Laban's idols, likely because they're made of gold and silver, not because she worships them. But God warned not to do evil or speak evil of Jacob. But when Laban confronts Jacob and searches all the tents, when he gets to Rachel's, she lies and says she's on her period. So he doesn't search that area of the tent because she's quote unquote unclean. So very smart of Rachel on her part. Very sly. She gets it from her father, you know. The whole family is like this. So Jacob then rebukes Laban and brings up how much Laban has mistreated him over these 20 years. So now we're going to get to verses 42 through 54. Then Laban answered and said to Jacob, These daughters are my daughters, and these sons are my sons, and these sheep are my sheep. All you see belongs to me and my daughters. But what can I do for them today, or the children they bore? Therefore, come, let's make a covenant, you and I, and let it be a witness between you and me. Then he said, Look, there's no one with us. God himself is witness between you and me. So Jacob took a stone, set it up as a pillar. Then Jacob said to his brethren, Gather stones. So they took stones and made a heap pile, and they ate and drank there on the heap. And Laban said to him, This heap is a witness between you and me today. So Laban called it the heap of testimony, but Jacob called it the witness heap. Then Laban said, This heap and this pillar are a witness between you and me this day. Therefore, its name was called this heap witnesses, and also the vision, because he said, May God watch between you and me when we're absent from one another. If you humble my daughters, or if you take any other wives besides them, although no man's with us, see, God is witness between you and me. Then Laban said to Jacob, Listen, this heap and a pillar are a witness. This heap is a witness, and this pillar is a witness, that I won't pass beyond this heap and this pillar to you, and you won't pass beyond this heap and this pillar to me for harm. The God of Abraham and the God of Nahor judge between us. Thus Jacob swore by the fear of his father Isaac. Then Jacob offered a sacrifice on the mountain and called his brethren, and they ate and bread and drank and stayed all night on the mountain. So Laban and Jacob finally quit this crazy argument, and they agreed to part ways and make a covenant together. They make a heap and a pile of stones. So Laban calls it the heap of testimony, and Jacob calls it the witness heap. And they cannot even agree about what to call it because they're feuding so much. But Laban tries to save face here in front of his clan because he's out, and Jacob's clan. So Laban tells Jacob that God is watching and not to mistreat his daughters. So they both agree, and this is, ironic since he's kind of mistreated his daughters a little bit. It's not just Jacob that's mistreating his wives somewhat the way he does it, but Laban has too. So they both agree to a line or a barrier for their people and agree that neither shall cross it or they'll have conflict. So the God of Abraham and the God of Nahor judge between us. So Laban and Jacob are officially separated now. Their clans are Jacob's clan is his clan and Laban's is his. So Jacob will have to go back home now and confront his brother Esau. So that is going to be chapter 31, and we're going to get to chapter 32 in the next time. And so if you like that podcast, hit like, subscribe, and uh, we'll keep doing this. So, anyways, Yeah. So if you like this podcast, hit like, subscribe, and we will be doing chapter 32 in the next one. So thank you. God bless and take care.